Command Point is sponsored by Crossfire Games. Use code CommandPoint25 at checkout to get 5% off your next purchase. Link in the description. Hello everybody and welcome back to Command Point. My name's Ryan and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how I've been painting up the Ravener's kill team. I'm very excited that this kill team is going to be coming out soon by itself as a standalone item outside of the Kill Team Typhon box set. I'm super excited to have more of you guys out there be able to get your hands on this team. Yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So the first thing I do now whenever I am going to be painting up any of my miniatures these days is I just prime with an airbrush. Priming with an airbrush is super convenient in a part of the country where I live where the weather is super inconsistent, so you don't always have an open, well-ventilated space that is either not too humid, not too cold, not too windy. The weather around here can change from day to day pretty dramatically, so having something like an airbrush on hand where you can just consistently sit down and prime some models no matter what the day is super helpful. Another tool that's really helpful for the airbrush process is of course going to be something like a airbrush spray booth or an airbrush hood. In today's video I'm showing off the Vevor portable airbrush spray booth. This one in particular has some really cool features such as like an inbuilt LED light, a 6-foot extension hose, so no matter where you have it set up in your house, as long as there's a window relatively close nearby, this is going to be a usable item for you. It also folds down super conveniently, and it helps keep my area clean and keep, the airbrush odors from permeating the rest of the house while I'm airbrushing. But yeah, guys, full disclosure, Vevor was kind enough to send along this airbrush spray booth for me to use and to demonstrate for you guys. So if you're looking at picking up something like this for yourself, go ahead and check the description down below, and using the code here will get you 5% off. So moving on, we are going to be Zenithal highlighting with bold titanium white from Pro Acryl. It's good practice, and especially with some of the paints that we're using later on, such as speed paints or any sort of like contrast paint, inks, stuff like that. Having that Zenithal highlight really helps with making sure that your areas that are meant to be highlighted are highlighted and that the darker areas stay dark. So now we're going to put down our first couple speed paints here for all of the chitin on the Raveners, all those big armor exoskeleton plates. We're going to be using Purple Swarm from the Army Painter, and we're going to be using the Slaughter Red to paint all of the claws and talons across all these models. Next, we're going to be painting up all of the, I guess, for lack of a better term, we'll call them flesh parts. For this, I'm using Pallid Witch Flesh, and to apply this, I'm using a size 2 Pro Sable brush from Monument Hobbies. We're just going through and picking out the arms, all the ribs, and we're just trying to get these models tabletop ready, and we want them to look nice. They don't have to be competition standards, so I'm making sure that all of the areas that you're going to see the most on the model when you're playing with them on the tabletop is going to get a good enough amount of coverage. And then the areas on the underside of the model, darker areas, we're not really going to be picking those out because we just want to get these done and make sure that they're tabletop ready. Next, we're going to switch back over to speed paint and use Princess Pink from the Army Painter. And with this color, I'm picking out all of the weird kind of like all the elbow joins where like the claws meet the arms, like all these little like fleshy areas that look like they exist under all of those parts that we've painted with the Pallid Witch Flesh. Inside all like the vents on the arms and stuff like that, the underarms, the jaw ligaments and the tongue, all those areas that look really fleshy, I'm picking those out with the Princess Pink here. Next, we're moving on to the eyes, and for these I'm using another speed paint from Army Painter. This is Zealot Yellow. Another good option for you guys would probably be, I really like the contrast paint from Citadel, the Iyanden Yellow. That one I use a lot for lens, like the lenses for my Black Templars. So that's another good color too. But yeah, that's really all of the paints that we're using on the model here. Next up, we're just using some shades from Citadel on the base. Really simple. All of the like loose rubble areas that are like between like the cracked like cement or the cracked pavement that these Tyranid Raveners are burrowing out of. Those areas we're using Agrax Earthshade, and then we're going over all of the actual like, I guess, pieces of cracked pavement. We're going over those with Nuln Oil. Just really simple, and you can see how it's gone over the white airbrushed base parts. It actually came out looking a lot nicer than I thought it was going to. I didn't paint them up in this video, unfortunately. I did not really have the time to go back and take care of them. But all of these lichen areas that you can see where there's kind of like these creeping Tyranid weird vines on them, I'll probably go back over those and use either some kind of purple or maybe a pink. Some kind of purplish pink, something like a Gene Stealer called from Citadel would should work fine there. But yeah, with that, these guys are basically done here. I've got the Tremor Scythe and the Ravener Rekka all done and painted up for you guys. I'll probably go back around the base and add some just simple Astrogranite debris to blend in with all the other kill teams I've painted with kind of like that Vulcus basing scheme to them. But yeah, really like how these guys turned out. They painted up super quickly. Once again, thank you to Vever for sponsoring this video. If you're interested in checking out any of their products, you can check it out at the link down in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of this paint scheme down below. Thank you guys all for watching, and I hope to see you all again in the next one.